I'm Bob Else along with Warren Altamore and Wayne Brokenshire, bringing you tonight's game from the Silver Bowl in Mount Carmel. The State AA defending champions take on the Marian Catholic Colts tonight. Nice night for football, and could be a good game. Real good passing team coming in here tonight, Warren.
Now, there's a lot of storylines coming into this game, really, and one of them is a normal one for this game. Believe it or not, and those of you who are following Mount Carmel area football for the past 5, 6, 7 years are going to be able to see this right away. Marian Catholic has become a pretty good rivalry. They're a Class A school, yes. They're far away from us, yes. They're not exactly in your backyard, but the connection between the coaching staff, some of the coaching staff that coached at Marian for such a long time, and the fact that for some reason or other, Marian just has some of its best games of the year, against the Tornadoes, both at home up there in Colt Stadium and here. And that's one of the reasons you look to a game like this. They're 0-2. They have 2 losses. They opened up with a pretty big beating up at Dallas, which we all know is an excellent football team. They lost a heartbreaker, which I'm sure they don't think they should have. I think they feel they could have played better at Mahanoy area last week, and that's the second time in 2 years they've lost to them. So they come in here a little beaten up, and most importantly, they lost their running back. Their star running back is lost for the season. He has a season-ending knee injury, which certainly is going to change the way this team plays football. But the bad part about that for us is it's going to change them into a passing team, and they are already a prolific passing team. Their quarterback is an excellent passer. The fact that he now has to carry the load is going to mean that our defensive backs are going to see a lot of balls coming their way over the course of the evening tonight. So they're a little bit maybe more dangerous now than even they would have been coming into the game normally.
Well, the Mount Carmel coaching staff figures that they can throw almost 30 times tonight. They can see the ball in the air from Marian about 30 times tonight. Marian's going to receive. They won the toss. Mount Carmel area will kick off. Captains meet at the center of the field, and we'll give you a little bit of specialty teams, which we haven't done in the past. They put a lot of specialty people in, and we haven't covered it too well. So tonight, the kickoff team for the Red Tornadoes, 29, Dan Malikoski will be in there. 66, Joe Chicatano. Number 21, Matt Montgomery. Number 25, Elliot DeFrancesco will be the kicker. Number 83, Eric Higgins. Number 54, Jeff Evans. Number 47, Steve Sinkovich. Number 27, Dave Evans. Number 45, Ryan McGee. Number 22, Brett Veach. And number 81, Mike Zavarik. And for the Big Red, lots of speed running down that field in that lineup, Wayne.
Oh, you look, a lot of them are playing backfield, offensive backfield for the JVs, and watching them the other night up at Panther Valley, they did show a lot of speed. And that's what you want. You want to get down, you want to cover the ball, and the speed is what gives you the good hits.
Elliot DeFrancesco setting up the ball for the Red Tornadoes. Deep for the Colts, number 9, Eric Blasek, and number 32 over there, which they had listed in their program, McAndrew yet as being a receiver back there, so he was the guy that was back on kickoffs too.
Yeah.
But now back there, number 32's in Chris Perhanich.
Yeah, the loss of McAndrew is truly a devastating loss to this team. He had a lot of potential and was truly a fine running back. Losing him for the year certainly is going to hurt them, and you'll see a little bit of that tonight.
DeFrancesco's kick off to the right side, short, and goes out of bounds on about a 35-yard line. Flags on the play, and this one will come back. Or, no, wait, they can take it from the 40-yard line.
40, I think it is.
And I believe they won it on the 40, from what I can gather over there. Again, one of the things to watch, one of the moments you want to watch tonight is the rivalry, the intenseness of the battle out there. These are two teams that truly go at each other every year. Whether one team is a winning record and the other's a losing, it doesn't matter. When they play football, these two teams, they play hard football.
Well, we're going to have another kick here. It's be a 5-yard penalty. Move Mount Carmel area back to the 35-yard line, and Elliot DeFrancesco will kick off from there.
You guys, last night at Supper Club, we can announce that all three of us have been vindicated. The call made last week at the touchdown when we had the unsportsmanlike conduct called against us, that was true. It was unsportsmanlike, but it was a dead ball foul, and it should have been assessed on the kickoff and was not. A slight error. I stand vindicated, which is the first time in I don't know how long. So I'll have to play on this one for the next 6, 7, 8 weeks.
DeFrancesco kicks straight down the middle. Going to be taken by Perhanich on about the 11-yard line. Brings it up the left side. Nice tackle made. Initial hit by Joe Chicatano. Also Dave Evans in there. And getting up the pile, number 83, Eric Higgins. Good coverage by the Big Red. Defensively for the Big Red, at the end positions, Eric Higgins and Sean Jamin. At the tackles, Corey Hepler and Bill Anderson, 31 and 77. At nose guard, number 61, Jamie Rowland. 2 linebackers, number 41, Joe Costello, and 66, Joe Chicatano. First down and 10 for Marian with Brent Andrew, the quarterback, sophomore quarterback. Flags on the play, and we're going to have movement on Marian Catholic.
Yeah, left guard left his stance a little bit early that time.
Defensive backs, which they'll work on tonight, Warren. Number 27, Dave Evans, the strong safety. Number 8, Nick Gretzky, the safety. And the 2 cornerbacks, 26, Pete Cheddar, and 22, Brett Veach.
Actually, if you're looking at this game and you're deciding strength and weaknesses, this is an interesting game in that probably that defensive backfield is every bit as stronger than any part of the defense. It's truly an advantage to have a defensive backfield that we have right now. So it'll be interesting to see what Andrew can do with them.
Andrew back to pass early over the head of number 83 in there. Was it
82?
82, sorry. 82, Jim Saka. Coverage there by Brett Veach. Second down and 15. And right off the bat, they come out throwing.
Yeah, we did expect that. We heard that from the coaching staff, and we just believe that's probably that you'll probably see them pass tonight only because you're breaking a new running back in now, so it's going to take you a while. I think towards midseason you may see them go back to more of a ground game, but right now I think they're going to rely on a passing game more than anything.
Andrew pitches back. Oh, good coverage by number 22, Brett Veach. Has 32 per Honage. Tried to get around the outside, but the speed of Veach from his cornerback position covered that play.
Well, Sean Jamin played it very nice. He strung out the lead blocker there. The halfback was trying to cut up the whole time and just couldn't, and then at the last minute decided he had to go around Jamin, and that's when Veach came up.
Third down and 16.
It's somewhat interesting in that the first 2 teams we saw this year almost never attempted to go outside.
Right.
Here's a team that did it right off the bat, so it'll be interesting to see what he does the rest of the game in that respect.
Brent Andrew rolls to his left. Gets it away in and out of the hands of number 81. This one will be first down and 10, or a punting situation for the Red Tornadoes. We don't have a number 81, so they.
Sure you do. Matt
you got
Higgins?
Him?
Yeah, Matt Higgins. Here.
Oh, okay. Matt Higgins. They don't have him on the roster.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah. Matt Higgins in there.
That was a good pass play, it really was. Quarterback had some time, and he threw a great pass. It went through his hands. But
well, both of them were right on the mark. I don't know whether, the receivers are looking upfield, too early or what.
Snaps back. Wobbly kick off the side of his foot, bounces on the 49-yard line.
Ooh.
And he's going to be down by Marian, and they're going to have flags on the play.
Well,
this one's going to go against the Red
Tornadoes.
Tornadoes.
Definitely going against us. There's no 2 ways about it. I believe that's going to be a clip, Wayne, right? Correct?
Push it in the back.
Pushing in the back.
What happened? The ball hit the ground, and a defensive man stopped so he wouldn't get hit with the ball, and one of our men ran into him. It's more incidental contact than anything else. I mean, it wasn't a block. We didn't even have the ball.
Is it incidentally 10 yards? Or?
Well, they don't care what it is.
It'll only be incidentally 10 yards.
You bet.
You know what's going to be real interesting here is where they're assessing the penalty from.
Well, I want to see what the call is because we didn't have possession of the ball.
That's
when
right.
The clip
That's
was.
exactly right.
That's what they're determining now.
They're determining that it probably is going to take place from Marian Catholic's spot of the ball.
That would be 10. If it's the spot of the ball, it doesn't.
That's what they're doing.
It wouldn't have mattered though, unless it's 50. Is it 15?
Right, it was 15. They were
15.
Yep, 15
okay.
yards.
It was 15 yards, yeah.
First down and 10, Colts on that play. Big play there by the Red Tornado punt receiving team because it was just bouncing around. And this one will be first down and 10 for the Colts. New life for the Colts. The ball on the 39-yard line. 10:23 left in the first quarter.
Well, the quarterback came out the first couple plays there and showed that he can throw the ball.
And the amazing thing about this guy, he's only a sophomore. Andrew Perhonich, big hit from the nose guard, Jamie Rowland. Great play by Rowland as he busted through the middle.
This is a fairly young football team for the Marian Colts. A couple of experienced guys on the line, but I think only two when I say a couple on the line. And other than the quarterback and now with McAndrew out, not much experience in that backfield either. So a young team and a team that's probably a year away from really threatening anything. But again, they're a well-coached team. You never see Stan Dick bring a team on the field that isn't well-coached.
You're right.
2nd down and 11. Andrew drops back, play action. Looks at his receiver on the sideline, out of bounds on about the 45-yard line. Nice coverage on Higgins by Dave Evans.
And a nice pass rush because the quarterback was throwing that ball pedaling backwards, and it's literally impossible to do that.
Now, Andrew is holding his side already. One of the things to look for, one of the keys tonight is one, pass protection, and two, you may get the pass off, but is he going to take that big hit every time? Yeah. Because if he does, by the second half, he'll be ineffective, and no quarterback can do that.
Andrew going to roll again. Big rush again. Gets the ball away to Perhonich, and we're going to have flags on the play, and this is going to be an interference call.
Well, no question about it. The receiver was hit before the ball got to him, so it's a penalty against Big Red. Look the other way, though. Again, the quarterback, another big hit. I mean, the pressure, he's getting the ball off, but the pressure is there instantaneously as he does, and he's taking a hit again. So it's going to be interesting how this whole evening goes. He's going to have to be a pretty tough kid to take hits from us. One of the things you see right away is that we're probably a much larger football team size-wise than they are across the line and the backs. And unfortunately, as the other two teams we played have seen, we're not only bigger, but we seem to be quicker than most of these teams, too. So it's a double whammy in that respect.
1st down and 10, Colts the ball on the 46-yard line of the Red Tornadoes. Brent Andrew hands off into the backfield. Nice tackle made by Sean Jamin.
There's a fumble there. He fumbled the ball.
Ball recovered by the Red Tornadoes.
No, he's calling it down.
Okay. Hurling was the ball carrier. That's going to be a gain of about 3 yards for the Colts.
It's a tough call to make. He had his back to us, but the ball definitely was moving around, I think, before he got to the ground. When he hit the ground, it popped free on him, and I guess that's what they're calling, that the ground can't cause a fumble, but that was a very close call there. And right now, Big Red's not having its way with any of the official calls right now.
Yeah, with the calls, that's
right,
what it is.
Right.
You know, defensively, they're doing a good job.
9:27 left in the first. 2nd down and 7 for the Colts. Andrew back to pass. Looks over the middle, hits the right side, and hits number 82 over there, which was Jim Saka, tackled by Pete Cheddar, and also in there Joe Chicatano.
Cheddar took him down, but as he was going down, Chicatano gave him kind of a capping off of that. Make sure that he had grass stains on him when he got up.
3rd down and 2 for the Colts.
That's the third pass play that they're overloading one side, and they're trying to isolate one-on-one on the opposite side. Now, they tried it over here on a flare pass in the first series of downs, and there they connected with that one on the left-hand side.
Andrew to Perhonich off the left side, close to a 1st down at about the 35-yard line.
Now, one of the concerns, obviously last night with the coaching staff of the Supper Club was complacency. There's a team that gets whooped pretty good by Dallas, loses to Mahanoy area, comes into the game, and they're wondering, are they up for the game? Well, I'll tell you what, you let them score here. They can win for a score here, and you'll find out how much of this game they're going to be into. They're not the kind of team you want to let go down the field and score a touchdown to start the game off with.
Well, as they said last night, they are a very high-caliber program. They always have been, and so has Coach Stan Dick. And the bottom line is they got off to a really bad start against Dallas, and it just deteriorated from there. Yeah. And we've seen it happen in games. You see where a team gets started, and it goes downhill. So this is going to be 4th down and inches for the Colts, and they'll go for it on about the 36-yard line.
There's a program like this, which is a quality program throughout the years, always in single A, in the playoffs, always going, doing things. one of the things you think about, they lose their big running back. Now, you lose him in the first quarter of the game last week. They go on to lose the game for whatever reason. I'm not sure if his loss was the cause. But you got 2 ways to go there. One, you can be demoralized and figure, my goodness, we got to go the next 7 games without our star runner. Or you could say to yourself, hey, we lost our big man now. We got to suck it up. We got to play football. And a lot of times that may be a rallying point more than it is a disadvantage across the whole year.
4th down and inches. 8:44 left in the first. No score here from the Silver Bowl. Andrew to Perhonich. Off the left side. Good for a first down. Tackle made by Anderson in there. Also on that side over there, Joe Chicatano getting up. And number 30, Sean Jamin. First down and 10 for the Colts from the 34-yard line.
Now was that their first earned first down? Or?
That's correct. Yes.
They were wind-aided on the last couple.
Andrew rolls to his left. Big rush. Costello in there. Jamin also getting up. Joe Chicatano in there. Big gang tackling from the Big Red.
I think the problem there, it might have been a good play, but I think his blockers outran him. He was too far back, and we came in from behind.
I'm not sure if he just missed a handoff either. I'm not sure what he was doing. That play didn't look like it was a great one to start off with.
Corey Hepler out. Looks like he either pulled something or something around his ankle, and that puts number 76, Mike Boyer, into the lineup at left defensive tackle. Andrew rolling back, looks downfield, in and out of the hands of Joe Costello. Good coverage by Cassidy on that play.
Flag. On the line holding.
That's going to be whole offensive holding.
I'll tell you what, that play there, again, had to be, their 5th, 6th, 7th pass play, and Jamie Rowland, 61, is in on the quarterback each time. And, I mean, he releases the ball, and Jamie's making a big hit.
Yeah. The quarterback is taking a terrible pounding, and it's just in the first quarter. I would be concerned for his health if this continues the entire game. He's taking, and he's a good football player and an athlete, but you can only get hit by guys that big so often. He's hit on every play. I mean, he's on the ground on every single offensive play, and nobody's going to stand that kind of punishment for an entire game. It's just not going to happen.
Well, that shows that Jamie, he's controlling the center. I mean, he's just moving around either left or right on him.
2nd down and 22. Andrew back to pass. Looks over in the flats. Good reception made and a nice tackle made by 22, Brett Veach. In on the catch, number 18, Jason Kubert. Long 3rd down play for the Colts here. 7:06, and it's strange you can have ball control with 7:06 left on the clock. I mean, they've had 5 minutes of ball control here, but it is due to some penalties too, Warren.
Well, that and the fact that a passing team, I mean, this game will go on forever if they pass as much as they have been in the beginning. We're going to have beards before this one's over.
I had 38 passes last week, I think, or something in that order.
Andrew, drop back, slant pass over the middle. Hits number 9. Nice catch made by Scott Holloman. Tackle made by Gretzky. Also Pete Cheddar and Chicatano in there.
Now that time he had great pass protection.
Well, Andrew released the ball really nice that time.
Yeah, he didn't take a good beating that time as he has in the past. That was a fine looking pass play. It really was very difficult to defend that kind of pass play.
Well, it's tough. It was a quick pass. He was back 4 steps and he turned around. He was already releasing the ball.
4th down and 2. Flags on the play. This one could be someone lined up offside. It takes a passing offense a lot longer to get going than a running offense over this. So each week, this team progressively will get better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're a team to contend with. They are. You're not going to look at that 0-2 record and think that they're going to be beaten every game. It's not going to happen. A program like that, it just doesn't happen to you. When you have a quality program and an established program, sure, you got some bumps, but you're not going to wash a season out. It just doesn't happen. This team is a team that's going to scare and beat people down the line. And in fact, there's no reason to believe they can't beat us right now at the rate they're going.
4th down and 7. Andrew back to pass. Rush from Chicatano. Gets the ball away and incomplete. So this one will be 1st down and 10. Red Tornadoes. They hold on 4th down. Big rush by Joe Chicatano and Eric Higgins.
And that's the type of play that you're going to need from our linebackers to, pick a spot and you're going to fire through. That's going to help our defensive backs out through this whole game. Put extra pressure on the quarterback and let him throw short.
Nick Karnaski in a quarterback. This is a pitch back to Veach out around the left side, blocking from Costello. Run out of bounds on about the 39-yard line. Set the Tornado offense for you at center, number 74, John Feddock. At the guard, 61, Jamie Rowland, and Bill Anderson, number 77. At the tackles, Mike Boyer, number 76, and Brian Lepotsky, number 68. At split end, number 30, Sean Jamin. At tight end, number 83, Eric Higgins, or number 31, Corey Hepler. In the backfield, number 6, Vic Karnaski, quarterback. 41, Joe Costello at fullback, 22, Brett Veach at the tail, and 27, Dave Evans is split. Karnaski, quick pass, incomplete to Jamin.
Well, that was his warm-up there. He took a warm-up pass on that one.
3rd down and 1 for the Red Tornadoes.
I'll tell you what, I think Jamin called that pretty much all the way because he realized there was nobody guarding him.
Yeah, no one covered him.
He was standing there all by himself, and he just yelled to Vic.
5:32 left in the first quarter. Karnaski, hand off to Costello, up the middle, finds some running room, runs over the safety at the 42-yard line and the referee. Big run by Joe Costello.
It's amazing. Now, you could almost read his mind. He's thinking to himself, I can juke or I can just run him over. I think I'll run him over. And he does it every time. What a hit he gave him. That was 41 on 41 that time.
Karnaski to Costello again. Going to run him up the middle. There he goes. To the 15. He makes a nice cut that time. End zone for Joe Costello. 2 big plays from the big fullback.
Oh, my goodness. We talked about it last week. We said to him, you don't see him break into the open often because fullbacks don't. But when he does, look at the speed and look at the move.
But you know what happened in this last play in this touchdown run? The greatest thing. The last person to make the tackle was number 41, and you know what he did? He put his arm out, and Joe ran around him.
Right. Yeah, he wasn't going to take that same hit a second time in a row.
Extra point team in for the Big Red. Snaps back. It's down. The kick's up. And it's good. That's Elliot DeFrancisco, number 25, the kicker. Holding Nick Goretzky and the center, number 66, Joe Chicatano. Also on that specialty team, which we'll talk about, number 30, Sean Jamin, 83, Eric Higgins, 56, Gary Dunn, number 60, Jason Malakowski, 76, Mike Boyer, and 75, Jonathan Else.
And we're going to keep in keeping with our special teams evening. I think you want to look at Goretzky a moment, who
Definitely.
did a fabulous job that time of a high snap. And he controlled the snap, got it down in time, and he didn't break the rhythm. And all an extra point is his rhythm. The kicker knows when to begin. He goes through a certain amount of things, and he does it. Goretzky was able to take a snap that was a little bit high and inside to him, bring it down and put it onto the thing, and boom, he makes the extra point. So a lot of credit goes to him that time.
7-0, Big Red in the lead. 5:03 left in the first quarter.
And I'm wondering if we're looking at a Marian Colt team that maybe in that first series keyed itself on Veach and left the middle wide open that time for Costello. I don't know how they were doing that, but
Scott Holloman from the 16, big tackle by 47, Steve Sinkovich. Ryan McGee in there helping, and also 54, Jeff Evans, but a big hit by Steve Sinkovich.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a freshman making the big hit, I might add, guys.
You watch Steve, though, as he was coming down. He picked the hole. He saw the gap open up, and he was taking the line off the runner. He wasn't running straight at him. He was cutting the field down and took a great angle.
1st down and 10 for the Colts. Ball's right about the 25-yard line. Andrew, quick out, broken up by Veach. Cheddar.
That
Good
was
job
Cheddar.
by Pete Cheddar.
And I think you're going to wonder about that play. If they throw that play again, It better be better than often they did, or Cheddar's going to run it into the end zone. That's a play that I don't know whether it wasn't ran well or we just read it well, but you don't want to throw the ball like that again in the flat. There were 3 possible Red Tornadoes with Cheddar leading the pack that could have intercepted it.
In at nose guard for the Red Tornadoes, number 54, Jeff Evans. Second down and 10 for the Colts. Andrew, scissors play, big red, nice by Corey Hepler. Finished off with Jeff Evans, but a good read by Hep.
Exactly explain to the public now what a scissors play is.
When the two backs
you called
were
it.
lined
I want to see this explained now.
Two backs were lined up in the back, and they weren't in the I formation, and they
I'll tell you
crisscrossed.
I'll tell you what. Let's
you
go.
don't call that a scissors?
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it isn't.
Okay.
But let's go further back yet. Would that be the same as a crossbuck?
Probably, right?
Okay, I'm just clarifying.
I've heard
myself.
it called a scissors. But,
Okay.
Okay.
You're pretty defensive.
Andrew, big rush from Chicatano and number 30, Sean Jamin.
Too long. That play took entirely too long.
And the quarterback knew it.
Too many fakes.
He knew he tucked himself. He knew he was going to get killed that time. Yeah, you can't do that against a team with the quickness that Big Red has tonight.
In fact, Jamin just released. He didn't even look at the halfback rolling back this way for the fake.
Yeah, that was the fake.
He was going for the quarterback.
In punt formation for Marian Colts, number 18, Jason Kubert. Snaps back, high snap. Kubert does a nice job of bringing it down. Kicks away. Taken by Veach on the 49-yard line. And tackle made by number 82, Jim Saka.
Good punt coverage. I got to give Marian good punt coverage on that. When you hold Veach to not a yard, you know you're doing something right because he usually gets a yard just from standing around there.
And he did the right thing. Veach caught the ball instead of let it hit the ground.
Oh yeah, you don't want it to hit like that. No. We saw Panther Valley make that mistake a couple times last week where the ball hit the ground, and you've got all kinds of things happening around you then when it starts bouncing around everybody.
First down and 10 for the Red Tornadoes. Karnaski with the power backfield. This one's to Veach up the middle. Gain of about 5 yards to the 48-yard line.
And obviously, we're convinced that the middle is going to be where we're going to, make our bread and butter tonight because we're aiming right for the middle right every time so far.
2:46 left in the first. Evans in motion. Pitch back to Evans. He's going out around the right side. Gain of about 3 yards. Taken out of bounds on the Marian sideline.
On the Marian team, other than Andrew, who you're looking at as a quarterback, you want to focus, we understand, on number 66 and number 51. And I'm not sure if they're playing defense. They are on offense. That's Harmonoski. You might remember that name. There were several Harmonoskis in the Colt program over the past couple of years, and the other one is Seitz. They were 2 people we were told to watch for, and that they would be standout football players. And they're the experienced football players. They're the ones that have been around a little bit and have some games under their belt.
Karnaski and around the Higgins. Read nicely by the Colt defense. I guess the initial hit made by number 81, Matt Higgins. Higgins tackles Higgins. 4th down and 4. Punt team going in for the Red Tornadoes.
All right, we have to go back to the drawing board on that one. They read that one extremely well that time. Now this will be interesting here. Marian wasn't convinced we were doing this, to tell you the truth.
Costello, big booming punt.
Excellent. Nice
Hits
catch.
on the 2-yard line into the end zone, and this one will come back out. First down and 10, Colts from the 20-yard line.
I don't think Marian was entirely convinced that we were planning on kicking the ball from this part of the field. The 2 guys that went back to cover the punt went back very late, and it wouldn't have made any difference because he kicked it over everybody's head anyway.
Boy, that was a beautiful kick.
He seems to be particularly psyched up today, doesn't he? He's pretty much everywhere on the field at the moment.
Andrew sets the Colts on the 20-yard line. Oh, big hit from the center. 54, Jeff Evans in on the tackle. Perhanich, the ball carrier.
That was a strange play by the quarterback. He got the ball from the center. He turned to his left, and it looked like it was supposed to be a dive off guard, and then automatically, like he turned around the opposite way and handed off on a straight dive to the right.
2nd down and 13 yards to go for the Colts. Andrew, back to pass. Big rush from Higgins. Gets him. Ooh. Another loss for the Colts.
The end result of that was William just checking to see if he was okay.
He just bent down alongside of him.
William was concerned for his health, and he bent down to make sure he was all right. That's all that was, and we want to credit William with the concern that he showed for the quarterback that time.
3rd down and 19, 47 seconds left in the first.
Well, if you watch the development of that play, everything was going left, and he was supposedly turning around to hit the lone receiver on this right-hand side.
Andrew, back to pass, big rush again. Taken down, Evans initially in there, and then finished off by number 30, Sean Jamin. I nearly had Sheppy in my mind.
They're offensively now, apparently we've adjusted to their blocking scheme, and they've completely fallen apart offensively. That was their worst series. Their
best series. Their best series had a lot to do with the referees also.
Yeah. I think 4th and 26.
It can't be 19. Yeah,
no, it's longer
than
that.
Longer than 9 to 27. Okay, 4th and 27.
And that's the end of the first quarter. The score: Mount Carmel area 7, Marian Colts 0.
I think at this point though, I think our defense has realized that we can release at any time we want both the ends and the linebackers, and it just seems like everybody's going,
Yeah, it's kind of a feeding frenzy defensively right now. Let me take a moment here at the change of the quarters to do our usual work so I don't get the wiki stick from the FCC at some point during the evening. You are viewing WKMC TV. WKMC TV broadcasts signal directly from the Mount Carmel Area High School campus along microwave signal WLX267. We are an instructional fixed television service, and you are catching us on a Wednesday night at 8 p.m. courtesy of the Service Electric Cable System on Channel 13. I've got that down so good, I'm not even worried anymore.
And next break, we'll talk a little bit about the Supper Club. Almost probably a record-breaking crowd last night.
Pretty much. We're...
I think it was up to 42 paid last night.
I talked with Nick last night, and Nick has said that they are drawing up plans to enlarge that back room.
Right.
They've asked the borough, I think, about whether or not they can build over the alley, and we're awaiting the final plans on that one. But, yeah, we're getting a big crowd out there. And it's fantastic. I mean, a big crowd, all kinds of people there. You get to meet some quality athletes, and of course, the 2 cheerleaders at every home Supper Club game. So it's truly a good time, and I think everybody's enjoying themselves.
Jason Kubert in punt formation for the Colts. Snaps it back. Gets the kick away. This one in the direction of Veach. Going to go out of bounds, though, on about the 26-yard line.
That was actually in the direction of the guy holding a line marker over there.
Right.
And you got to give him credit. He's standing on his own end line. I'll tell you what, I don't care what you're doing. That's not an easy thing to do at any given moment, is to kick from your own end line. So he did some yeoman's work there to get the ball out of his own end zone.
1st down and 10, Red Tornadoes. 11:53 left in the first half. Kranaski pitches back to Veach, coming out around the right side, cuts back, and gain of about 4 yards.
See that time? That was William asking how that young man's parents were. I can tell these things.
2nd down and 5. That was a big 5-yard gain.
It didn't look like it, did it?
Yeah,
it was a surprising 5 yards.
But that's what you talk about, the speed projecting him forward. Kranaski, inside handoff to Evans. Big hit by the center of the Colt line, gain of about 2 yards. Initial tackle made by number 35, Charlie Hurling.
Obviously, the Colt defense has noticed something, too, because the middle no longer is wide open, and we're continually probing there to see, but they've gotten much stiffer across the line than they had in that opening series that we had.
Well, I think you were right. The first series of downs that they were keying on Veach.
Karnaski. End around. Now he has the ball. Looking downfield. Going to throw a pass. Incomplete on about the 9-yard line to Jamin.
Field goal?
You got a field goal team coming in right now.
We're not punting.
Now, whether it's going to be a fake field goal or a try for it from Elliot DiFrancesco, it will be kicked from about the 27-yard line. A 37-yard field goal attempt for DiFrancesco. Snaps back, it's down, kicks away, and no good.
A little bit off to the side, but he had enough room to get it in there if he was straight on, I think. I think it would have went over. That's a little bit of a thing to say to you, hey, we can do this, so if we get close enough, we're gonna.
It doesn't hurt to try it.
No, you're right.
No harm there. You had long yardage to gain yet. You had 4 yards, so try it in a game like this where someday, right now it doesn't mean.
Oh, sure. That's what I'm
as
saying.
much, right.
But you're telling Marian Catholic at the same time everybody watching this
we're
film,
going to go try it.
And these guys aren't afraid to go for a field goal from even 37 yards out, and that's the way it's going to be.
First down and 10, Colts. Inside handoff, hurling, big tackle. Corey Hepler down on the bottom of the pile, also helping out Joe Chicatano.
But see, the thing that does, it gives Elliott a little bit more confidence. The second time out, he won't have to try as hard.
Right,
You know, you get out there the first time and you're trying to rip the uprights, and that's what happens.
I agree. I mean, it's a win-win situation all around, whether you make it or not that time.
You're right.
Andrew, back to pass, over the middle,
Nice.
broken up nicely by number 26, Pete Cheddar. Just outstretched his body, reached out with the hand, didn't come close to the receiver, and knocked the ball down.
The cheese.
I'll tell you what, you watch Petey, if we have a replay on that, you watch Petey. He mirrored that guy, shadowed him all the way across, and right at the last minute he went for the ball.
10 minutes left in the half. 7-0, Big Red in the lead.
Now 3rd and 9.
Andrew looking to his right, big rush, runs out of the pocket. Nice tackle made by 41, Joe Costello. Gain of about 7 yards, so it'll be 4th down and 4. Puts the Colts in a punt situation again. I'll bring number 18, Jason Kubert, in to punt for Marian Catholic. Deep for the Red Tornadoes, 27, Dave Evans, and 22, Brett Veach.
Once again, I mean, if you're watching the game, you're looking at the flow of this game. Big Red is completely dominating it again on the defensive side of the field. There's absolutely no offensive production from the Colts right now.
End over end kick taken by Evans on about the 46. Wall sets up.
Good block.
And brings it down to about the 29-yard line. Great block out there, and I just watched as the wall was set, as David came around. He was trying to point for one guy to get, and they couldn't get him. Joe Costello had a great block downfield, but he had 3 guys to hit. So, first down and 10, Red Tornadoes.
Corey Hepler had a nice hit there inside the wall.
Evans split to the right. Karnaski to Costello. Up the middle to about the 25-yard line. Second down and 9. Evans and Jamin split to the right for the Big Red. Karnaski hands off to Veach. Finds a little running room. Gains down to about the 21-yard line. Bring up a 3rd down and 4. Oh, a little less than that. That time they moved it back on me.
Yeah.
7:59 left in the first half. Kanaski, straight drop back. Looking downfield at Jamin. Incomplete pass. 4th down and 5.
This time it looks like they're considering going for it, and they are. Higgins into the game with the play.
Big 4th down play for the Red Tornadoes. Karnaski rolls, looks downfield, hits Higgins with a great catch on about the 5-yard line. Beautiful pass and beautiful catch. Nobody could cover that pass.
Yeah, that really was, and you want to give some credit to Rowland that time. The whole play hinged on him pulling and taking the outside guy out, and he did. It was a great play by Jamie Rowland that time.
1st down and goal to go from the 5-yard line for the Red Tornadoes.
Hey, Higgins, he has glue hands. Doesn't he get anywhere near him, boy? It's there.
Beach off the left side.
He's in.
Lots of running room to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Red Tornadoes.
You know, I never had that kind of speed, but it must be amazing to be that fast that you can tell when a guy's not going to catch you, you know. And he knew that he wasn't going to get caught.
Elliot DeFrancesco in to attempt the extra point. Snaps back. It's down. The kick's up, and it's blocked. Blocked by number 70 of the Colts, which is Chris Turney. So with 7:26 remaining in the first half, the score, Mount Carmel area 13, Marian Colts 0.
Now, Marian Catholic probably, if anything, their biggest thing they're suffering from right now is poor field position. You know, they've gotten into that kind of a rhythm where they're getting the ball too far back to really open up their offense. Now, this will be the first shot they have at bringing the ball back probably over to 30 and maybe getting their whole offensive scheme back going again.
DeFrancesco in the kickoff for the Red Tornadoes. Perhanich and Scott Holloman deep. Covered by the Colts on about the 27-yard line, and that was no run back on that play for Marian.
I absolutely hate it when the ball bounces right in front of you. It's like, and it's not just him.
And there was a watermelon yet, too.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, like.
Talk about being paralyzed when you're standing there. There's nothing you can do. You don't know which way it's going to bounce. You don't know if it's going to come up or stay down. And no matter what you do, you look goofy when you've done it.
Right at your feet yet.
Yeah.
You know, you just.
7:16 left in the first half. 13-0, Big Red in the lead. Andrew with the handoff to Perhanich. Big hit in the center of the line by number 77, Bill Anderson, and finished off by 41, Joe Costello. 2nd down and 7.
I'm looking forward to when you run down the district stats again. I'm on the edge of my seat. I know everybody else out there is too.
Perhanich out around the right side.
Ooh.
Big rush by the Red Tornadoes there. Costello in there, also number.
I think is that Cheddar that came in like a bullet there?
30.
Or no?
29.
Is it 29?
32,
Oh,
Rusty
32.
Lashinsky's in there.
I'm sorry, Lashinsky
and
was.
27, Dave Evans.
Now, Lashinsky was one of the guys I saw go by me like a blur there. I couldn't tell what number it was.
Also, Malachowski was in there, so there were 4 of them in there. 3rd down and 6. Colts in a passing situation. Andrew back to pass, looks over the middle, hits the tight end. Tackle made by Malachowski, and also in there Nick Goretzky on the tackle, but a nice catch made by number 82, Jim Saka. 1st down and 10, Colts on the 46-yard line.
Yeah, you have to give him credit. He stretched up as high as he could just to catch that pass. You know, you're in a bad position when you do that. He held on to it.
Andrew, quick handoff. Perhanic. Initial hit made by Jeff Evans. Also in there, Anderson. 31, Corey Hepler, and 41, Joe Costello.
That time, Evans, the play was never going to make it because Evans not only bounced into the lead blocking back, but he bounced the lead blocking back into the runner. So you weren't going to go anywhere on that play.
Second down and 9, 5:07 left in the first half. 13-0, Big Red in the lead.
We've seen Evans return to a place we saw him almost the entire game last week. That's in the opposing team's backfield.
Quick pass, incomplete. Third down and 7.
It's interesting the coaching that goes on in a game like this. Now, no one knows the Marian offense better than Connolly does. And Stan Dick knows exactly what Connolly's doing on defense. So, there's never a better matchup coaching-wise than there is in this game.
Andrew, straight drop back, no backs, complete to about a 4-yard gain, but we have flags on the play.
That flag was the tackle of Bill Anderson there as he was coming through the line.
Yeah, I think the Colts are getting the wiki stick on this one.
Ten-yard penalty against the Colts. This one will bring up third down and about 20 yards.
You began the season, we looked at two teams, and obviously we're not going to lie about it. I mean, obviously there were two teams offensively that were having some problems. And you were wondering how good the defense was. Was it mostly the defense or was it just because they weren't really hot on offense? But now you're seeing a pretty good offensive team, and we're handling them the exact same way.
Andrew, big rush from Anderson. Now he breaks it up the middle, and a tackle made by number 54, Jeff Evans.
Yeah. Well, again, we come into the season, we knew the experience that we had coming back, especially with the defensive backs and our linebacking crew, and our line has all the experience in the world. So, it was just a test, and this is a fairly good test for them.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, this team, especially when you have such a dangerous passer, you've got to do a lot of things differently than we did the first 2 weeks. But we seem to be controlling the line the same exact way.
Hubert's kick is end over end in the direction of Malikoski. Reverse to Veach at about the 15-yard line, and good coverage by the Marian Colts. And specialty team-wise, in terms of punt, the Colts have done an outstanding job. Tackle was made in there by number 60 for the Colts. Might have been 61, which was Coleman.
Yeah, certainly the key is to have somebody downfield right away, and that's what they're able to do. And at that time, we did what was a Mount Carmel standby for the last 30 years, is that little handoff to the one guy to the other. But they read it pretty well, and the one guy wasn't fooled by it at all from Marian and slowed it up enough to stop them.
3:30 left in the first half. Karnaski, straight drop back, looks on the fly pattern to Jamin. Incomplete at about the 40-yard line. Second down and 10.
I'm afraid to count how far that ball was in the air. What a
throw. It was there.
My goodness, what a throw.
Another half a step, Jamin would have had that.
Whew. It all goes back to his dad's thumbs. It's got to.
Second down and 10 for the Tornadoes. Malikoski split right. Costello and Veach in the backfield in the I formation for the Big Red. Draw play to Veach. Gain of about 7 yards. Good tackle in there by number 35 from Marian Colts, Charlie Hurley.
It's just nice to see him get into the open like that. 5 yards down from the tackler, he's already making moves left and right to set the tackler up. If he gets him shifting and going in one direction, Brett's going in the opposite direction. And it's really good to see him do that.
Third down and 1 for the Tornadoes. 2:49 left on the clock. Veach up the middle behind the line and Costello, and that'll be good for a Red Tornado first down. Clock will start. 2:39 left. In high school, they do stop the clock to move the chains.
No argument from me. I'm with you.
Karnaski, play action. Looks downfield at Jamin. Incomplete at about the 30-yard line.
He had a little bit of pass rush that time. And he was going back. He's just that strong that he can throw like that off his back foot going backwards.
Interesting series, though, for us. We've gone long several times this time. I mean, you want to do that once in a while, but it's not often you see us do that many times, without going with the short pass there.
2nd down and 10. Veach. Oh, nice tackle made by number 82 from the Colts, which is Jim Saka.
He made a great play that time. He really did, because he was blocked and still was able to turn, and he spun right into the ball carrier. You're going to give him a lot of credit that time. Good defensive play.
Tornadoes will be faced with a 3rd down and 10. 2 minutes left in the first half. Karnaski, straight drop back. Pump fake, now going long again, looks at Evans. Oh, incomplete at about the 31-yard line, and the bombs are flying tonight.
He's going to wear his arm out before this one's over tonight.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's true, too. Not with that arm.
Not with Vic.
Punt situation for the Red Tornadoes. It'll put Joe Costello, number 41, back as the punter. 1:45 left in the first half. The snap's back. Good snap. Kicks away, spiraling. Nice punt by Costello. Lots of coverage time. Perhanic takes the ball. He's going to the right side.
Go down.
Evans there. Also
Go down.
Higgins there.
Go down.
Big hit from Eric Higgins.
Well, we gave a lot of ground up on that one.
Well, I'll tell you what. He caught that on the 30-yard line, and the ball's back on the 20.
Yeah, you want to drop on one of those.
That's good punt coverage.
1st down and 10 Colts. 1:30 left on the clock in the first half. 13-0 Mount Carmel area in the lead. Jason Kubert split far left for the Colts. Andrew hands off to Perhanic. Nice tackle made by Chicatano.
I'll tell you what, every game so far, our linebacking crew is doing an excellent job. They're reading the ball well. They see a handoff. They're keying on their man. They're coming up. They're filling the hole, and they're hitting hard. They're hitting either the lead back coming up to block, or they're taking on the ball carrier. Now, you have to give a lot of credit to Costello and Chicatano there.
Right.
They're doing a great job.
Timeout called by the Red Tornadoes at this point.
Was that our timeout?
It's our timeout.
Oh, I didn't see us call.
Yep.
Yeah, what? A minute 5 seconds left. It's 2nd and 9. And I'm assuming you're going to see the Colts air it out a little bit here, maybe. I would do that. Then again, that's why they don't let me coach either.
If they do it and there's incomplete passes, more time for Mount Carmel area to take another shot at it in the end zone.
That's why they won't let me put that shirt on. It says head coach. I keep trying. They keep saying no. That's because I keep calling long passes in my own territory at the half.
That is a scary thought. You wearing a shirt that would say head coach?
Think about it.
Ooh.
Think of the innovation on offense I would bring. Just think of that alone.
Well, we know what Pride Night would be like on Thursday night. Okay, 2nd down and 8 for the Colts.
Touch that. I'm not touching what he just said.
Andrew back to pass. Looks at Kubert. Runs it back to the middle of the field, tackled by Joe Chicatano and also in there Pete Cheddar. 51 seconds left, 3rd down and about 4 yards to go for the Colts.
I'm saying we're passing still. I'm sticking to this right to the end now. We got 30 seconds left. They're pass plays. They're going out. They're going to air them. This is air Colt now.
Hurling In the backfield, Andrew rolls to his right, looks on the bomb. Veach,
and he had it.
almost intercepted by Brett Veach on about the 44-yard line. 4th down and 4 for the Colts with 15 seconds left on the clock. You'd anticipate they try a punt here.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, though,
Yeah,
they ran a short flare-out pass the last time. They needed 5 yards, maybe 4 yards there for the first down. Now, you think they would have tried the same thing. You know, the clock would have stopped with the moving of the change, pick up a first down. And you got 4 more downs to launch the ball like they just did.
Right. That wasn't exactly a 2-minute offense, really. That was not the way you would think of it as a 2-minute. They weren't trying to move the ball up the field that much, it didn't look like.
Snaps back, kicks away. Beats the lone tailback or the lone back, and this ball bounces down to about the 34-yard line. And there was no coverage set up that time for them to run back, so Beach had just left the ball go. 5 seconds left on the clock. 1 play for the Red Tornadoes.
I think it's a timeout for Big Red also. Looks like Coach Williams may be going into that bag of tricks for this last play at the half. Of course, we look at this game and however this may be the outcome, of course, everything is pointing towards next week, where, as it always does in the early part of the season, where we'll be entertained, I'm sure, at Camp Memorial.
Oh, it'll be a barn burner as it always is.
That it will. Who do the Indians have this week?
Blue Mountain.
Blue Mountain.
They're
that's
playing
right.
Blue Mountain. Blue
The
Mountain's
Eagles.
playing some quality football.
Well, they were highly touted going into the season, but I think people got a little scared when the pacing they took at Pottsville, which was as big a rivalry for them as Shamokin area is for us. And I think has people wondering now whether they were as good as everybody thought they were or not.
Hail Mary going to be tried here by the Red Tornadoes. Karnowski steps up, lets one fly. Caught on about the 32-yard line, but as the clock runs out in the half, nice catch by Dave Evans. Good throw on the big rush by Karnowski. At the end of the first half, the score, Mount Carmel area 13, Marian Catholic Colts 0.
We'll go through the stats as both teams are coming back onto the field. Mount Carmel area in the rushing department rushed the ball 14 times for a total of 107 yards. Passing, they were 2 of 9 for 48 yards. Individually, Brett Veach rushed the ball 8 times for 35 yards. Castman 3 for 62. Evans 2 for 5 and Higgins 1 for 0 yards. In the reception department, Evans had 1 reception for 32 yards. Higgins 1 for 16 yards. First downs, it was Mount Carmel area 5, Marian 4. Marian in the rushing department rushed the ball 18 times for a total of -5 yards, which is following in the last 3 games. Each team that came in at the halftime had minus yardage. Passing, they were a little bit better. They passed the ball 13 times. They completed 5 for 55 yards. The touchdowns were accounted for, of course, Castman Costello running about 40 yards for the first TD and Veach running 5 yards for the second TD, and that accounts for all the points in the first half. And we are about to begin the second half. See you in a minute.
At the start the second half, captains meet at the center of the field. We had a little talk here about some of the interest has been shown in having the band on at halftime. And we're going to work at that at some of the next home games coming up. One of the problems we have is that the microphones, the only microphones really hooked up are the 3 of ours right up here. And it doesn't do justice to the band to have these microphones try to pick up their sound on the field. So one of these great games, our great boss is going to set up some mics down on the field to pick up the sound of the band, and we'll get to hear their whole show.
Well, that's good. My thought was he was going to give me a roving mic and tell me to move around the band while they were marching, which would have been his original thought, I'm sure. He might probably get hit with a tuba or something.
Sort of
out of
afraid
action
probably
for a
you were
couple
going to
of
get
games.
run over, right.
I like this idea a lot better.
But to all those interested in seeing a great halftime show instead of seeing you, we're going to have the band on.
That's hard to believe, but I'll concede to the band in this case.
Kicking off for Marian Colts, and on the kickoff receiving team for the Red Tornadoes, 56 Gary Dunn, 32 Rusty Lashinsky, 66 Joe Chicatano, 54 Jeff Evans, 65 Rick Harris, 83 Eric Higgins, 41 Joe Costello, 47 Steve Sinkovich. In the backs to receive the kickoff, 27 Dave Evans, 29 Dan Malakowski, and number 22 Brett Veach. 81, Matt Higgins will kick off for the Colts to start the second half. Veach is going to take it on about the 24-yard line. Find some running room up to about the 38-yard line. First down and 10, Big Red.
It'll be interesting to see what Big Red does. You're up 13-0. You've dominated the statistics when you look at them. Although it was a funny game in the first half, it didn't seem like you did. And we never really got a real good offensive rhythm going. You know, we weren't marching down the field. A lot of long passes, that kind of thing. So it'll be interesting to see what we do here in the second half.
Karnaski at quarterback. Pitch out to Veach. Brings it around the end to the 50-yard line. Knocked out of bounds on about the 45-yard line by Scott Holloman. Good run by Brett Veach.
Nicely blocking down there. We had John Feddock even downfield doing some blocking, but if you looked at the pitch out there, Veach did a beautiful job one-hand grabbing
in the air. It was a tough pitch to him.
A tough pitch.
First down and 10, Red Tornadoes early in the second half. Malachowski in motion, pitches to him, going to go out around the right side. Malachowski takes it, going to have flags on this play, and he gains about 5 yards, but there is a flag in the backfield.
It's going to be either holding or clipping on Big Red. That'll come back. We seem now to be more intent on our running game and establishing ourselves a little bit here in the second half.
A holding call against the Red Tornadoes.
And we had a very, very interesting thing happen today. Now, just in passing, you know how I stand down at the field with Jose Gonzalo, our stat guy, and well, not our stat guy, the stat guy. I shouldn't say he's ours, but he's the stat guy. But we're down there, you know, shooting the breeze, doing our usual number on each other, and he looks up and, being an old musician that he is, looks in our band and says, "Wow, there's a girl playing the Sousaphone." Okay. I look around and say, "Wow, I don't even know what a sousaphone is." He points it out and I said, "You mean the tuba?" Well, he tries to give me the delicacies of a tuba.
Karnaski hits Jamin, fumble on the play, and this one's going to be recovered by the Colts.
Well, anyway, he's trying to give me the ins and outs of the tuba and the fact that a girl is actually playing the tuba, which must be odd in bands, I don't know. I plop myself down in the second at the halftime there next to him, waiting for him to do the stats. I look up, and Marian Catholic also has a girl tuba player. Now, he may call them sousaphones, but they've been tubas to me my whole life, and they're staying tubas.
First down and 10, Colts the ball on the mid-stripe. Andrew hits out in the flat. Nice catch made by number 82, which is Jim Saka, tackled by Pete Cheddar.
Now, there's a play there that you, as a defensive back, must make the tackle.
He's a touchdown, otherwise.
That's a touchdown.
You're right, he's gone.
They're isolating their receivers on one defensive back, and you have to play them. You can't play the ball.
Second down and 3 for the Colts. Perhanich through the line. First down and 10, Colts. Tackle made by Anderson, helped out by Dave Evans.
And you see what the pass does. Opens, loosens up your linebackers a little bit. You get a little hole there, and you have a good halfback. Perhanich is hitting the hole and doing a little bit of running.
54, Jeff Evans back into the Red Tornado lineup. 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Perhanich off the left side for a gain of about 5 yards. Tripped up. Looks like Eric Higgins made the tackle on that side from his defensive end position.
He nearly broke that. He really did. He was a step away from a touchdown there.
I'll tell you what I think the problem was, he had too much momentum going forward. His head was down, and he lost his balance and did a nosedive into the turf there.
Second down and 6. Andrew Perhanich off the left side, breaks outside. Tackle made by Chicatano. Rowland initially stopped the play, and then tackle made by Eric Higgins.
Yeah, Rowland made that play. He really did. Rowland's having a heck of a night tonight.
Yes, he's having a good night.
That's offensively and defensively. He's playing a tough game tonight.
Third down and 6, passing situation for the Colts.
And I'll tell you what is really great about it is that, they get Jeff Evans in there, and it's given Jamie enough of a rest that he can get in and do the things that he's doing now. Look at, again.
Andrew, over the middle. Oh, hits number 81. Matt Higgins right in the hands. This will be a 4th down. And you know what? The young sophomore has thrown some good balls tonight under some great pressure. He's had his receivers drop quite a few.
Well, that one he may have had he had it high and a little behind him, but he should have hauled that in. He really should have. It was a tough pass under pressure. And when you make a pass like that as a quarterback, you think, I get it close to you. You better be catching the thing.
Marian going for this one on 4th down. Big rush from Hepler. But the pass is complete. Caught by number 18, which is Jason Kubert. And that'll be
first down. First down.
First down for the Marian Colts.
Big fumble recovery there, sparking the Colts here in the beginning of the second half. 8 minutes, 39 seconds to go. And again, they have hung tough in this football game. They've not shown much offensively in the first half, but they're still in the game. And certainly if they put the ball in for a score here, this is a whole new ball game then.
Handoff to Perhonich. Finds some running room. Tackle made by Joe Chicatano, but a gain of about 5 yards for the Colts.
And they're fired up.
Yes,
their quarterback's jumping around. They're really going in here. Big Red, I have to say, is a little bit rocked back on its heels here defensively from where they were in the first half.
Second down and 5. 7:54 left in the third quarter. Pitch back to Perhonich. Tries it out around the left side. Joe Chicatano with the big hit. Helped out by Pete Cheddar.
Good pursuit that time.
Good play that time.
Yes, they did.
They strung it out. They got everybody covered, and there was nowhere to go.
Third down and 4. Andrew, handoff to Perhonich. Tries off the right side. Evans in there on the tackle. Initial hit made by 41, Joe Costello. Costello had him low. Evans took him high. Fourth down and 4.
Definitely stiffened up a little bit there in the last couple of plays. It's 4 down territory. You know the Colts are going for it down this deep. They send in what looks like 2 receivers coming into the football game for the Colts now. And you almost guess this is going to be a pass. I mean, just the way things have been going here, you think he's going to drop back. And I look for one of those flat passes where he's had some success on either side there.
Well, they haven't had. They've been running the ball, but I don't think they've been running 4 yards consistently.
I don't think they're confident enough to make a 4-yard run here on 4th down. I really don't. Now, again, he'll prove me wrong and run the ball, but I don't think. I think you're going to see a short pass, and I think he's going to go out into the flats with it. In a moment, you'll see why I am not ever going to be a coach of any kind.
Looks like he called a new play, though. He sent Kubert in with another play after that.
You know what it was. He knew that I knew what it was. That's exactly what he thinks, that I'm tied into the coaching staff down below. I thought I was too.
4th down play for the Red Tornado defense. Hepler with the rush. Blocks it, knocks it down. Good job by Corey Hepler. This will give the Red Tornadoes first down and 10 on about the 20-yard line.
Now, Hepler's certainly a large figure to throw the ball over. When you're trying to throw it where he was going in the flat, where I thought he would, you can't really loft it, or that you'll get it intercepted. So he's got to throw kind of a straight line bullet, and very tough to do when his arms are up like that. I'm taking credit for calling that play, by the way, too.
Karnaski to Veach. Nice spin move, but a good tackle. Good gang tackling by the Colts this time. No gain on the play. Second down and about 9.
Defensively, they're playing a pretty tough game right now. They really are. They're all but controlling the line of scrimmage in the middle, where that was their weak spot in the beginning of the football game. So they've adjusted, and they're doing something a little different, and they've really tightened themselves up somewhat against the run.
Mike Sinkovich into the lineup for the Red Tornadoes. Puts a power left for the Red Tornadoes with Hepler, and here they come to the left. Veach. Around the left side, big tackle made in there by number 9 from the Colts, which is Scott Holman.
And again, they're containing the outside also. They stopped the run up the middle, and they're giving up. They'll give up 3 yards to the outside, but that's it. They're having good pursuit, and they're stringing out the defenders or the blockers all the way across the line.
Well, one of the things I see they do, they flip-flop their ends to the strong side. Watch, you're seeing 80 now. There's 82 and 81 alternate to whatever they feel is the strong side of the offensive formation.
5:56 left in the third. Kranaski with a third down and about 5. Inside handoff. And Costello the ball carrier, but a gain of about maybe 3 yards. 4th down and 10 for the Red Tornadoes. Nice tackle made by number 8, Dave McGann. No. That is number 8 in there, right?
Yes, it is.
Well, someone's wearing number 8 because McAndrew's hurt.
Well, McAndrew's out for the year from what we understand. He's not.
Snaps back. Kicks away. Nice spiraling kick by Costello. Taken by Holloman on about the 38. Brings it up the middle and is tackled right about the 46-yard line. In on the tackle, Jason Malakowski, number 58, Ron Davis, and 27, Dave Evans.
Now, one of the things the Colts are enjoying here in the second half is field position, where they were pinned deep so much in that first half. The second half, they're looking a lot better field position-wise, and again, that gives you a whole lot more leeway with your offense and what you want to call.
Perhanic off the left side. Anderson there, reads it nice, makes the tackle, no gain. 2nd down and 10 for the Colts.
It's all tough running with the ball when you have Anderson, who goes, about 270?
Yeah, I would think.
At least.
I would think he's every bit of that.
On your back. It's a little difficult.
Second down and 10 for the Colts. Andrew, straight drop back, pump fakes, Hepler, big hit by Corey Hepler, takes him out on about the 42-yard line.
He's down.
That was a tough hit. Hepler could not have done anything about it either way. The guy was ducking into him, but hit him high, and again, there's nothing can be done there, but certainly took a vicious hit, and he's a little shaken up.
A little.
He's a lot shaken up.
Yes, he is.
He's staying in the game, though. I give him a lot of credit. That was a terrible hit. It really was. And again, Hepler, I don't think he could have. He had his hands coming up anyway. He couldn't do anything about it, but what a hit.
3rd down and 16 for the Colts, and a timeout called by Andrew.
That's probably the best thing for him anyways.
Yeah, he needed some time, I think, to compose himself a little bit. My goodness, he just kind of stepped into it. I mean, it was.
Well, it looked like he was already he was ready to start moving to throw the ball.
Yeah, there was no defending himself or anything. He just took a major hit.
Talk a little bit about the Supper Club again in the second half here. Tomorrow night, where you're watching delayed broadcasts on a Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, 6:30 at Matucci's. We want to break the crowd of last week of 42 and go for about maybe 45 or 50. So the new room gets built. Have a great dinner. That'll cost you $6. $5 goes toward the club, which is going to be used to purchase different items for the team during the year.
In fact, we'll be discussing some purchases next week. Phil and I have some things we want. Phil Gergen, of course, is the guy that runs the other half of this with me, and we kind of are the caretakers of it. There's no president, there's no treasurer, there's no officers, there's no nothing. This is kind of a really informal operation.
And it's not something that you have to be at every week.
No, you don't.
I mean, it's $5 the night that you're there.
If you're there, it's $5.
If you're not there, it doesn't cost you anything.
It's not like a dues thing that adds up or anything. It's up to you what you want to give. You want to give more than $5, that's up to you.
Big rush again from the Red Tornado line. Andrew steps out of it this time. Hits number 8, which we don't know for sure who it is, but a tackle made by Costello. Also in there on the tackle, number 8, which is Nick Goretzky. Gutsy play by the young sophomore quarterback.
Absolutely. And number 8, whoever he might be right now, made a great play.
Yes.
He heads up play. He was bobbling it. We were bobbling, and he stayed with it, and he came down with the reception. And a big play for the Marian Colts right now.
He was hit twice.
Yeah,
he tipped the ball, and he was hit twice, and he still kept eye contact with the ball and made the reception.
1st down and 10, Marian on the 31-yard line. Andrew hands off to Perhanic. Good gang tackling by the Red Tornadoes.
It's
Bill Anderson, Evans, and also 66, Joe Chicatano.
I think Evans asked him there where he spent his vacation. I believe he was asking for the summer. That was nice of him to ask.
Second down and 11 for the Colts. 3:32 left in the third quarter. 13-0, Mount Carmel area in the lead. Andrew, straight drop back. Looks over the middle, hits number 18, which is Jason Kubert, but there's a flag on the play and most likely holding against the Colts.
It's coming back. The Colts are being called on the line, and it was fairly obvious. It wasn't one you could hide, so a tough break for Marian that time and an excellent pass play. The Colts have been hurt by penalties this half, where they were helped substantially without scoring any points, and they were helped pretty well in the first half, so it's kind of coming around, going around thing for them right now. They got to give them credit. They're staying in this ball game. They really are. And I have to say that although we're playing tough, we're not playing with the same intensity, I don't think, that we've seen in the first two games. I mean, I don't know if we're looking down the road or whatever, but, you know, you look down the road and sometimes it comes up and hits you in the face.
Shotgun formation for the Colts. Andrew on the shovel pass to Perhanich, gains only about 4 yards, read nicely by the Red Tornadoes. In there on the tackle, 66, Joe Chicatano. Also looks like Jamin was over there, but read nicely by the right side of the Tornado defense. Number 5, Jason Gunther into the lineup at safety for the Red Tornadoes.
With third and 21 facing the Marian Catholic Colts right now. Third quarter winding down, 2 minutes 37 seconds remain.
Andrew, back to pass. And nice tackle made by Jeff Evans on about the 45-yard line. Good job by the young nose guard.
Now that time, that was a case of Andrew, the quarterback, misjudging how quick Evans was.
Right.
He thought he could just step past him, and he couldn't. Evans was there in a blink and brought him down. But he kind of left. If he would have moved faster, he may have gotten away. But I think he was kind of misjudging how fast that Evans was able to move towards him.
Fourth down situation for the Colts. Kubert back to punt. Snaps back. Kicks away. Hits about the 23-yard line. Veach there watching it. Goes out of bounds on about the 14-yard line. Good kick for the Colts. First down and 10, Red Tornadoes. 1:49 left in the third.
Importantly, it keeps us pinned in our own zone
Right.
again. We're still not. We have not had good field position since the second half began, and this is no better here. You're inside the 13-yard line. It looks like we're on, or the 14-yard line. So not where we want to be to start an offensive set of downs.
Karnaski hands off to Veach. Up the middle, nice tackle made by number 81, Matt Higgins, gain of about 4 yards.
I didn't see 89 into the game, but I was hoping he'd get into the game for the Marian Colts. His first name is Hans.
Hans?
You gotta like a guy named Hans, let's face it. You see
Hans Kuhn.
Hans Kuhn. I think maybe a German background maybe there.
Pitch back to Veach, gonna try it out around the right side and gets it close to a first down.
Nice play by Leposki that time to spring him around the corner there. It should be a first down, and I believe it will be. It is.
1:13 left in the third. First down, Red Tornadoes. This one's the Veach. Cuts back up the middle. Tackle made by number 45 in there?
35.
35 in there, which is Charlie Hurling. He's the nose tackle.
Marian Catholic shows great pursuit. You know, a lot of people moving around on that defense, and they're able to stop him from breaking any big ones so far tonight.
Karnaski on 2nd down and 6. Hands off to Veach. Cuts it back. Close to a first down at the 38-yard line. It will be a first down, the Red Tornadoes.
He has it. Colt player shaking up a little bit there, and he's back.
"17 seconds left in the third quarter. Karnaski, quick pass in the flat to Jamin. Gain of about 5 or 6 yards. Good pass play. Great play by the Red Tornadoes.
That'll bring the end of the third quarter.
The score, Red Tornadoes 13, Marian Catholic Colts 0.
Give you a reminder that you are watching WKMC TV. WKMC TV transmits its signal directly from the campus at Mount Carmel High School along microwave signal WLX 267. We are, of course, an instructional fixed television service, and you are catching us at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday evening, channel 13 on the Service Electric Cable System.
I applaud you. You do that so well.
It took 3 years, but I memorized it perfectly almost. And besides that 267 thing, as I told you before, I can put any numbers in there. Who's going to remember?
Really?
Yeah, don't matter. Sometimes it's 267, sometimes it's 418. Who knows? Well, it's still 13-0, guys, and I think this is a surprise for everybody. I think everybody thought we were going to be rolling in this game. We have not looked sharp, I have to say that. I don't think we had our sharpest games to date so far this season. And they've looked tough. They have been. They're a tough defensive team. We thought they would be. We expected that much. And we thought offensively they were going to have their woes a little bit, and they have to some extent, but not enough, to get them out of the game. They're still here. They're still plugging into the fourth quarter.
And they've gotten sharper the second half.
Yeah.
Especially the quarterback, Andrew.
2nd down and 3. Veach up the middle. First down and more to about the 46-yard line. One guy, and he broke that one for a touchdown.
Yeah, now we seem to be bearing down a little bit offensively too now, and you're seeing some tough inside running and some blocks being made along the line of scrimmage where we were getting a little shaky there in that third quarter. I don't think we showed a whole lot, especially, in fact, in the end of the second quarter even, into the third quarter. There must be a chill in the air because Bob has now put his very natty pullover sweater on, in case you noticed that or not.
Veach going to take it out around the left side. Found some running room. 12 yards and takes it out of bounds for another Red Tornado first down at the 36-yard line.
Some tough running now. Veach is starting to assert himself a little bit. And that also, I think, is a little bit indicative of the fact that they're probably getting a little tired. And, Veach, with a kid with that kind of speed, when you get a little tired, he burns you. He really starts to excel. So you see that happen in the fourth quarter with a lot of teams, and I believe Marian's probably, like anyone would be right now, starting to tire a little bit.
Karnaski to Costello. Up the middle, gain of about 5 yards. Taken down on about the 30-yard line. Big run from the fullback.
See, that's called the 1-2 punch. You send Veach over, and he's a gazelle. And then you send a steamroller in back of him who has no other thought in mind but to smack into a yellow helmet on his way down the field. And that's what you love about him.
2nd down and 5. 11 minutes left in the ball game. Big Red with a 13-0 lead. Karnaski's pass complete to Jamin. To the 14-yard line, another first down for the Big Red.
Excellent pass there. Excellent play by Jamin. Jamin hooked up real quick and came back. He didn't go very far. And I didn't even see who the dragman.
Malachowski was.
Was that Malachowski was there that cleared
the zone?
Yeah, that's what he did. He cleared the zone out and gave him enough of room to catch the ball, turn around, and take off.
See, that play, that play is designed. Just give the receiver 2 steps. They figure if he gets 2 steps, he's going to pick up sizable yardage.
Veach off the left side. Down to about the 6 or 7 yard line. This one will be a About 2nd down and 3.
Now this is probably, other than that first touchdown, our best offensive series of the game. We've spread passes and running out pretty evenly. We've kept them off balance. We've run right, left, middle. We've
Put a
done
drive together.
All the things you're looking for. Where we were more of a hit or miss offense in the first half.
2nd down and 1 for the Red Tornadoes. Karnaski pitches back to Malakowski.
Ooh.
Nice read by number 89 in there, which was Hans Kuhn.
Oh, geez, Hans is
You
in the
missed
game.
him.
Hold it, folks. Where's Hans at? He's in there somewhere.
Definitely.
That was
That's
number 8.
Yeah, well, that was 8. Was that 8?
Yeah, that was 8 that made the tackle.
Number 89.
Is he in there?
The
He's
left
in there.
cornerback.
There he is.
Or a linebacker.
Linebacker he's in at. 8 was at the end of it. You're right, but there's 89.
And you missed him.
I missed him. I can't believe this.
3rd down and 7 for the Big Red. Pitch back to Veach. He's going to throw a pass. Looks in the end of the end zone. Nice play made by number 18 there for Marian, and they weren't fooled on that play at all. Jason Kubert.
They absolutely weren't fooled by that play.
There were 5 white shirts coming out of the end zone.
They definitely went over that in the films during the week because that was a no-go from the start.
4th down and 7 for the Red Tornadoes, and the Mount Carmel area calls a timeout. Well, looks like field goal time again.
He's out there.
Elliot DiFrancesco comes out. Nine minutes left in the ball game. Good crowd on the Mount Carmel area side tonight. Colts didn't bring as good a crowd as they usually have at a ball game, and I guess when you're 0-2, sometimes that does that.
Yeah.
Nick Goratsky will set up to hold the extra point. Number 25, Elliot DiFrancesco, to attempt the field goal. Snaps back, kicks up, and again it's blocked, covered by the Red Tornadoes.
Somebody's getting in the middle there and knocking these down. I didn't see who that was that time, but a great offensive set of plays there, and we just kind of couldn't put it in there in the end. We didn't do too well at the very last part of that series. 8 minutes and 53 seconds remain in the ball game, and again, it is still 13-0 Mount Carmel area.
1st down and 10, Colts, 13-0. Perhanich, good play made on the left side of the Red Tornado defense.
He's certainly been their workhorse tonight. I mean, just about every running play, he's carried the ball.
2nd and 11 for the Colts.
And those two big rangy receivers into the ball game now. Although they're pinned pretty deep, I don't think you're going to see a really long pass here.
Andrew back to pass. Rush from Jamin. Jamin makes the initial contact, and then Jeff Evans in there to finish him off along with Bill Anderson.
He'll lose, I guess, about 5 yards, it looks like, 4 or 5 yards on the play. And again, the defense has risen to the occasion each time that it's had to here. They got to be disappointed they didn't put the ball in the end zone when they went down there, but they're not giving Marian Catholic much to do here either right now.
Andrew on a big 3rd and 14 for the Colts. Straight drop back. Over the middle. Not enough for a 1st down. Tackle made by Joe Chicatano.
That time, Marian could have been gotten for holding that time in the backfield. There was a pretty blatant hold, and a Marian Catholic player is down on the field, and he's down. He's not even moving right now, and I'm hoping he's just laying very still. You don't want to ever see a player lay that still like he is. He's not moving a muscle right now. One of our trainer had ran out, and now I see Doc Recco's out there. Immediately when he hit the ground, everybody saw him go down like that. I'm hoping he's just laying very still. You certainly never want to see this kind of play in football.
Well, while we have a break here, we'll talk
He moved.
a little bit about what Warren wants to talk about. District 4 AA standing.
Hey, get ready. Hold it. Wait.
Wait.
Well, you got to give them a chance to get their pen and pencil ready and everything.
One thing that really put a a change in this whole thing is 2 District 12 teams vie for the District 4 points. It's a PIAA rule where there's 2 District 12 teams, and that one's going to confuse everybody to no end.
Well, it did it to me already.
But right now, it doesn't mean anything, okay?
Good.
So you don't even have to worry
It didn't mean
about
anything
it.
to me when you said it, so it's perfect.
So
Go ahead.
At the end of week 2, we have Wyalusing with 14 points. We have Mount Carmel area with 13 points. Wellsboro has 12, Towanda 12, Lewisburg 11. So they're the top 5 teams in AA right now. Wyalusing got to play the Quad A school from Elmira and pick up their extra points. So I think we should put them on the schedule next year. It's Southside. It's called Southside out of Elmira, New York. Guaranteed 8 points.
They apparently go south a lot.
Yeah,
then.
guaranteed 8 points.
Okay. That's number 82 for the Marian Colts is now up. That's Jim Saka. He was the injured Colt player, and he's up and walking off the field, and that's great news to see that.
That District
12 thing's pretty dandy.
Well,
I
okay,
like
but that District 4 AA standings,
it's dandy.
Our sports information director, Phil Gergen, will keep track of that for us for the next 8 weeks.
It's a good thing he's going to, because for the next 8 weeks it's going to get ugly.
Punt formation for the Colts at 7:17 left in the ball game. Kubert back to punt. Snaps back. Takes his time, end-over-end kick, bounces on about the 44-yard line, and will be down by the Colts on about the 48-yard line. First down and 10, Big Red.
Kind of kicked that one at helmet level that time. He was skimming helmets as it went by. Seven minutes exactly remain in the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. 13-0, Big Red still. I think this is probably going to be a game where that film day on Monday is probably not going to be something everybody's looking forward to. There's going to be a couple of things they want to talk about, and maybe some people question here and there on what they were doing.
Konaski. Inside handoff to Evans. Finds some running room for a gain of about 7 yards. Down to about the 41-yard line. Second down and 2.
It was a tough run by Evans. Well, he put his head down at the end of that run and took everybody down with him.
Second down and 4. The refs moved it back 2 yards on me, Warren.
That noise you hear is Wayne took his headset off to brush his hair.
I'm sorry.
He sort of forgets to shut it off.
Yeah, he had to brush his hair because we got really messed up with the wind.
Hey, is that what that button's for?
6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Costello in motion, and we have flags on the play.
That'll go against us.
That was an interesting play where the fullback Costello came in motion, and he was going to be the blocker for the pitch out to Veach.
Mm-hmm.
No, I took my headset off to talk to Mr. Dixon outside the press box.
I'm
so
sorry,
nobody would listen to the conversation. I'm sitting up here. What was I doing? Banging against the wall or something?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, okay.
I thought you were brushing your hair.
5-yard penalty against the Red Tornadoes. Second down and 9.
You know, hair like yours, you can't afford for it to get away on you because it's never coming back then, let's face it.
Especially at my age.
I didn't want to bring that up.
Okay.
You are like a father to me, though.
Again, Costello goes in motion. This is the inside handoff to Veach. Gain of about 6 yards to the 41-yard line. Mount Carmel will be faced with a third down and 4.
And there, again, another example. You have to stop Veach right at the line of scrimmage. You give him that little gap to get through and get through the linebacker, your core of linebackers. He's picked up 7 yards already very quickly.
Now, precious time ticks away for the Colts. They're looking at the clock just as much as anybody else is.
Konaski.
Ooh, fumble.
Fumble on the play. Looks like it might be recovered by the Colts. Coming up with the ball, number 68 or 66 it'll be, Brian Seitz.
You have to make sure of those handoffs.
We're just definitely not looking ourselves tonight, that's for sure. And now with 5 minutes and 8 seconds left in the ball game, certainly you can't let the Colts score here.
Well,
let's face it.
This is what we did not want.
Yeah, you don't want to give them a break like this, and we have done it. And now the defense again is on the field and again has to make some big plays to stop the Colts.
Andrew, back to pass. Looks in the flat. Hits Kubert. Takes it to, he ran backwards to about the 42-yard line. Big hit by Jamin.
He turned a 7-yard gain into a 2-yard gain, or a 3-yard gain that time. He should have never turned around like he did.
Well, as soon as he turned around, there were 4 red shirts right there.
That's what you're taught. Every receiver in the flat is taught that spin that but he spun and it was over. I mean, he spun back down again. So.
And that was a good hit by Jamin.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Jamin drove him back 3 yards.
Absolutely.
Andrew hands off to Berhanich. Going to take it out around the right side. Finds a little running room. Nice tackle. Open field tackle made by Brett Veach.
Veach, and I believe you're going to see Costello get off the back there, too. He was in pursuit.
3rd down and about 3 yards to go.
76, Boyer.
He'll go into the lineup for Hepler.
We have our... I was going to say our bulky lineup, but you can't certainly bulk up much more than when Hepler's in there now, can you?
Long count. Berhanich off the left side. Nice
beautiful.
play made by Joe Costello. Also Chicatano. Both linebackers. Beautiful job that time.
The cast man is. I'll tell you, Joe Schick too.
Yeah,
they are amazing football players right now. Look at him down there.
You know what's amazing about it? Just about, 3/4 of the plays. One's making the tackle, and the other one's standing there.
Yeah.
You don't get. I'm getting him.
Certainly, probably the most active linebackers you're going to see in any game this year. Absolutely amazing speed, size, and they make the stick on you.
The 2 of them are doing a great job.
Andrew back to pass. Rush from Higgins. Going to tuck the ball and run it himself. 1st down, Colts.
Well, 2 minutes and 54 seconds now remaining in the ball game, and time is slowly ticking away for the Colts. And I know Big Red is going to be breathing a sigh of relief on this football game is over today. Not truly our best effort. Again, a tough Marian football team. I think they regrouped after last week's game with the loss of their star runner, and I think they bore down. But I think we made a lot of mistakes out there tonight.
I think each week you'll see Marian get better as their schedule progresses. Pass out to Cooper.
Catch.
He caught that backhanded.
He did. He
laid out for that.
Gain of about 6 yards, so it'll be 2nd down and about 4.
I'll tell you,
2:27 left in the ball game.
You have to give this quarterback credit. I mean, this quarterback has been taking a pounder, especially in the first half, and yet in the second half, I think he's gotten stronger and gotten more accurate as this game is going on.
Whoever's playing them next week and watching these films has got to be a little bit scared of what he's been doing out here.
Andrew back to pass. Big rush by Higgins. Fires one. Hits number 81.
Fumble.
Which is Matt Higgins. And they're going to call him down on that play. Or incomplete pass, one or the other. 1st down at about the 26-yard line for the Colts. Anderson, Boyer, and Rowland in there at the front line for the Red Tornadoes. Andrew back to pass. Takes the ball and runs it himself. Nice tackle made by Jamin, but he gets the ball down to the 20-yard line. Chicatano also in there helping out.
I'm wondering, I was going to say, they're going to call a timeout here. I'm wondering why they're waiting so long. 1 minute 32 seconds remain in the football game now. Again, Mount Carmel is still 13-0. Marian driving the football down. What are they on the 20-yard line now?
Yes, 20-yard line.
Mount Carmel 20-yard line. Again, and Big Red's got pretty much no one to blame on this one but themselves on how this game has turned out. It's just been kind of a out of sync football game. It's
like you said, again, you have a big game coming up next week. We might be looking a little bit ahead. You never know; those things happen.
Well, I'm hoping that's what it is. I'm hoping we were looking down the road a little bit. And again, I think coaching in these 2 games was so important in that they know each other so well. Well, a lot of times that kind of evens things up a little bit when a coach knows exactly what you're going to be doing or how you do things. Now, I know that Coach Connolly will punch me if he hears his telecast by me saying that, but I mean, it is the truth of the matter is they're very familiar with each other.
That's right.
1:32 left in the ball game. Andrew back to pass. Hepler with the big rush. Flags on the play.
Oh, there's something
2
there.
flags on the play.
And a beanbag.
It'll be holding no matter what against the Colts. I don't know what the first one is.
No, well, the first one I think was holding in the line, in the center of the line. The second one, I don't, whether
that came after the play.
After the play, I don't know. Is that unnecessary?
We have a holding.
Oh, intentional.
An intentional grounding.
That's a loss of a down. Intentional grounding. I
Boy,
never thought that.
No,
that's not one I would have guessed.
certainly looked like he tried to hit a receiver as he was being killed, right?
The only person down there that I saw was a lineman.
Maybe
I did not see a receiver down
maybe you're
there.
right, Wayne. I saw the white jerseys, but maybe
Right.
you're right. Maybe there was no one that could receive the ball downfield in the area where he threw it. But that's a tough loss.
Well, it's a loss of down. It'll be 3rd down and about 20 yards to go for the Colts.
That was a tough set of plays right there.
Andrew on the straight drop back. Looks at Kubert, and we're going to have flags on the play. More than likely, interference called against the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, we'll bring it right back to where we started off there now.
That was not a catchable pass.
No,
I mean, that was so far over
It was pretty
his
high.
head.
I don't know what we're doing now, but we're making it interesting. Still, believe it or not, folks, there's still 1 minute and 23 seconds left. It was 1 minute and 20-some seconds left about 5 minutes ago in this game, and it's still there.
Well, you're right. It'll bring it right about back to where it was.
We're just flip-flopping again now.
And on the 20-yard line.
Yeah, so it's it worked out for the best, I guess. Everybody came out all right.
3rd down and 8. Colts look a little confused on their play calling right there. They were oh, there he goes. They get Coons out of the game and Kubert in. So they're set the way they want to be. Andrew pitches back to Perhonic. Tries it around the left side. It's not going to gain anything, but we have flags again on the play. This game could take all night.
It's amazing.
This last minute and 25 seconds.
It's already gone a while.
Well, it's down to 118 right now.
I don't know. What's the call now?
I have no idea.
Well, we're going to see.
Against them.
Holding called against the Colts.
They're determined to shoot themselves. They're just not going to be happy until they blow their foot off here.
Well, there's been 3 drives that they've had down to the 20-yard line, and each one of them has ended up into a penalty that's put them back, and they've lost the down then. And we've taken the ball over them.
And the good thing is there's still 1 minute and 18 seconds left in the ball game. Hope this game's over before this telecast goes on. We'll be live.
Andrew, Corey Hepler running on him, and he's tackled at about the 35-yard line. Good play made by Hepler. 1 minute and 4 seconds left on the clock, and the Colts call timeout.
That may be their last timeout. I'm not sure. Did they take one early in the second half when they were down there?
That I don't
I'm trying
know.
to remember if they did or not. That might be their last one, though. I'm not sure. I mean, defensively, you don't have a whole lot to complain about here. And here's the defense. As soon as you push his back against the wall, it responds by, tearing you apart. And of course, penalties aren't. But penalties are the result sometimes of the fact you just can't keep your guy out. And you get a holding penalty because you reach and you grab and whatever. So, that's a defensively induced penalty a lot of times like that. That's a new one. Defensively induced. You'll hear that on Monday Night Football soon, won't you?
You're going to start the word of the week again?
Word of the week, yeah.
That's about 5 years ago.
Why can't I ran out of words? I only
knew.
knew 4 or 5 big words, and I ran out of them. What was I going to do? I should have looked down the line a little bit on that one. I had the dictionary out, but then it took me a whole week to pronounce it. By the time the game came, I sometimes didn't have it ready. I'll think of something new. Don't worry.
1 minute and 3 seconds left in this ball game.
There's a nice shot of Wayne's ear. For those of you who are wondering what that was.
Coach Conley in working his defense. Andrew back to pass. Has time, looking long into the end zone.
Touchdown.
Nope, he was out of bounds.
They call him out?
Well, nobody wanted to call it. Touchdown, Colts.
Well, what happened was that the ref
Where
that's
was the
coming.
ref anyway?
Well, the one was coming down from the center, and the other one was coming down along the sideline. and the one that came across from the center was looking over to him for the call.
To
Where
see,
did he make
well,
the call?
to see where his feet were. He
That's
knew
right.
he caught the ball, and that's what he waited to see. The Colts set up for the extra point, and with 51 seconds left, they've put one on the board.
What are we doing here now?
One of our plays, maybe? They better do something.
Well, they don't even have enough guys to run one of our plays here.
Can't call timeout.
You got to center the ball, folks. Either way, he had to center to somebody, right? Or he has to throw it to
They're
somebody.
going to run out of time here pretty soon. There it is. Delay a game.
Where was the kicker on that?
Well,
What
he was
doing?
standing on the sideline, and he ran out, but then they were waiting for also the holder. The holder was standing behind the group of linemen.
Oh, okay.
So
And I
they had
wonder-
no
yeah, I
holder.
wonder
They got
where-
the kicker out, but then they didn't have the holder there.
I mean, he was at where they were lined up. He had to throw the ball into the group. He couldn't center it backwards.
and now the coach can't be out on the field because not a timeout. It's a delay of game penalty.
Well, he's going to solve that problem by taking everybody with him. If they all leave with
That
him,
was
they can't
very
be a
good,
penalty.
wasn't it? Okay. Marian will try for the extra 2 here. That puts Andrew back into the game at quarterback. Perhanic and Hurling in the backfield. Fake to Perhanic. Looks into the end zone. And the 2-point attempt is no good.
Short, I was going to
Right.
say.
By
He-
about 2 yards.
He was
He's
short.
holding his hand up, but he's not in the end zone.
He didn't realize he wasn't in the end zone.
He was on the
right.
5-yard line, not the end zone.
Well, he ran it as if it was on the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing on that one.
With 51 seconds remaining in the ball game, the score: Mount Carmel area 13, Marian Catholic Colts 6. And you think we're going to see an onside kick?
No, absolutely not. I'm totally sure that it will not be an onside kick. This is why I get paid the big money, guys. You're wondering like why my salary is somewhat higher than yours, and I know I've heard some griping about it. This is why.
Kicker just gave it away. He lined up the ball at Coach Williams.
Also means you're a very big glass. Very big.
No comment.
Here comes the onsider. Kicks it a little too long, and it'll go out of bounds. This ball will be taken over by the Red Tornadoes. So that'll about put the icing on the cake.
I don't know.
They might have to kick again, right?
First of all, the clock's still running, which is somewhat odd. It's 38, 37. I think we're going to have a little problem here. And 35, 34. Well, we're going to have to add something there. I was going to say, we did have 49 seconds left in the game still. Now we're down to 32. And unfortunately, no one touched the ball, so we're going to have to put some time back on the clock. It was at 49 when we began this.
Well, the official's coming to the sideline right now, as you can see on your screen, and he's going to add a little time to the clock. 10 seconds he wants.
Yeah, it should be more than that. Doesn't the clock start when one of us touches it? And we didn't touch it, right?
Right, we did not. But in fact, the ball went out of bounds, period. So
It was 49 seconds, I believe, when we began. Now it's at 41.
42.
We're doing a lot of
Looks like they're going to 46 seconds.
Coach Edwards.
Coach
is
Edwards
involved,
did a great
47.
job of getting it to.
Yeah, give me a little bit more time. We'll be at
Gave him
49,
one more.
guys. I think I'm full 48. Let's go one more. One more. Come on.
50,
I'm call. Oh, now we're going back
51.
now.
No?
49. 50.
51.
51. Do I hear 52? 52, 52. Going once. Going once. Going twice. 52.
But you already saw it at 49 seconds.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
This is just an optical delusion right now.
An optical contusion.
It's a contusion and a delusion. We have no idea what it is now.
Mount Carmel area should be able to take the snap and just down the ball as Marian used up their timeouts. Start running down at 46, and was an exciting ball game both ways. You have to admit the Colts hung in there for the whole fourth quarter, which you said they did. They looked better in that fourth quarter, Warren.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at us. We were definitely. I don't know how we describe us as
Out of sync?
just out of step. I mean, we just weren't meshing the way we had seen ourselves do it in the first two games. So I get maybe probably a tougher defense all around. I'm sure is what one of the parts was, but we looked like we could offensively dominate them, and that's what makes you wonder, because we can move the ball up and down and then get stalled on the 10, 15-yard line all the time. So, again, I think film room on Monday is going to be pretty ugly.
Well, it was an interesting game. Good game to watch. Good game for fans.
Depends who's watching.
That's right.
That's right.
I didn't think it was a great game to watch, but I'm sure Marian did. And yeah, I mean, it was all kinds of things happening in the game. All the storylines we talked about came true. You had two coaching staffs that know each other better than probably any two coaching staffs will the whole rest of the year. So you had that happening. You had Marian come in, fired up, play a tough game every time they play us. That's what they did again tonight. So we had all those things happening. And the last part of it, I think we had everybody in red looking a week away. And that doesn't bode for a great game when that kind of stuff happens.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a good learning experience. When they look at the films, they're going to say, well, defensively, our defensive backs have to do this. They come out in trips. It looks like we're a little lax getting enough coverage over. But I think, in looking at the films, and this is what our defense needed. We know we have the experience out there defensively, but they weren't tested yet. And I think this was a good game for our defense. Now, we get a little bit experience under our belt against Marian. We're going into a very, very difficult team next week, into a game against Shamokin area.
I mean, basically, when you're looking next week, Bob, it's the Shamokin area Indians, and that sums up the whole game storyline for next week.
It's the game for the cold bucket, and no matter what the one-loss record is, and we've known this over the years, and more than everybody knows now what Shamokin did against Blue Mountain, but the bottom line is, no matter what the records are going into that game is the game for everybody. It's the game for this area. It's one of the tops in Pennsylvania when Shamokin and Mount Carmel play each other.
Absolutely. I'll be there.
I'll be there.
How about you?
I will definitely be there.
We're all going to be there.
Everybody, remember tomorrow night, if you are watching this on Wednesday night, Supper Club down at Matucci's. Come down, meet the coaches, meet the players. Could be an interesting supper club this week with Warren there.
I have a lot of questions.
I figured you did. We'll see you all next week. We're going to be at Kemp Memorial in Shamokin for the Mount Carmel area, Shamokin area game. One that'll be great to see, and one we'll be interested in bringing to you. I'm Bob Else.
I'm Warren Altamar.
Wayne Brokenshire.
Good night.